Good afternoon. This is Uncle Artie at nomoretalk.com. Want to start out today's podcast with the emphasis of this show. Started with a song I wrote a few years ago. No more talk, no more conversations. I can see the writing on the wall. No more talk, no more politicians. They ain't done no good at all. I remember South Central back in 1965. The whole town was burning. Many died. Rodney King back in 92. Same old story. What you gonna do? We spend a lot of time in our country talking about our problems. And we spend an awful lot of time being angry about those problems. One of the things that I've done over my 75 years is keep a very close watch on you and me and how we greet and meet our problems on a regular basis. Most of us do our very, very best to be creative and honest when confronting the issues that are with us each and every day. So, part of that is simply this. I found over the years that there is no substitute for rigorous honesty. We're either going to tell the truth or we're going to do something different. I found in the several years that I've been watching since I returned from the war in Vietnam that there's an awful lot of talk amongst not only the politicians, but the clergy, law enforcement, uh, basically anybody who's got a microphone and an ear. And I hope one day I'll have that microphone and I'll have that ear. But for today, I want you to know that it's like really important to our future, not only mine. I'll make it to the finish line, and I'm sure that many of you will as well. I'm thinking more about our children and our grandchildren, and maybe even our great grandchildren. And how will they survive in a world full of pollution with a political system that feeds on money rather than service, to a corporate environment that feels it doesn't have to pay any taxes at all, that they can simply do whatever they want, whenever they want, to whomever they want, and your welfare and your life means very little to them as long as they're getting money from you. I found that when discussing these problems with ordinary folks like you and me, that people feel overwhelmed. And there's a reason for that, because we are all overwhelmed with the state of our nation and with the conditions that we seem to have to live in on a daily basis. And I'm not just talking homeless people. I'm talking about people who, for nothing other than their own desire to stay sheltered, stayed in rental housing that is now going to be taken from them. and large-scale apartment complexes will be built in their place, which they will not be able to afford. So we've all been kind of watching what's going on in Washington, D.C. We've watched the millions and millions of dollars of legal fees being paid by numbers of people. And we say to ourselves, does it have to be this hard? I guess at this particular moment it does, but it does not have to remain so. If we start to demand from our political leaders rigorous honesty, if we can institute a few things that I believe would be helpful, one, of course, that everybody seems to agree on is term limits. You can only stay in office for 5 years, then you're done. I would like to add that we would like to not only have term limits, but limited terms. Our political structure and our hierarchy are damaged beyond repair because people have stayed in office way too long. I often ask a friend or two, what does a politician do at his desk or her desk the first day they get there? And the answer is simple. They pick up the telephone and start raising money for their reelection. And their reelection is the only thing that matters to them. And that is the sickness and the sadness of what we're dealing with in our country today. So if we really take a long, hard look, people say, well, you can't get anything done. Well, that may or may not be the fact. There's a gentleman in Colorado who is resigning from his Senate seat today because he just cannot see the reality of being in Congress any longer. There are others who have left the political structure, uh, some by choice, some not. But we need people in our country who will speak the truth and speak the truth to power and to start to monopolize the conversation. We need to get together and start to move in a direction together. The political machine that runs this country wants you to fight with me. They want you to not like me because of what I think, not who I am, but what I think. And they want me to do the same. They want me to hate you because you think differently than I do. Well, I don't hate you. Matter of fact, if I'm correct, and I believe that I am, there's nothing more valuable on the planet Earth than the people who inhabit it. There's nothing more important than the service that we can give to those who are less fortunate than ourselves. If that means we pay some more taxes, well, that's what it means. But I think if we can get the ball rolling, we can find ways to save a lot of money in this country just by eliminating the dark money that comes into the campaigns and the wasteful, useless spending of that money on undocumented wars, on products that are only designed to kill people. We can make a difference. We're going to break for just a minute. I'm going to give thanks to one of our sponsors, Bodhi Tree Home Cleaning. You can go to bodhitreehomecleaning.com. That's BOHDITREE.com, Bodhi Tree. And if you will let them know You saw their ad here at No More Talk. You'll get $50 off your first home cleaning. And believe me, they are good. They've been doing my house for quite some time. And I'm not getting anything for this commercial, by the way, but I hope that they do, and I hope that you do as well. So we're in our first cast. This is number one. I'm going to make some notes, and I'm going to see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. This is Uncle Artie signing off.